Dan, give us a brief overview of your typical diet plan that you're following right now.
Sure. I try to stick as close to like paleo as I can. I call it paleo with privileges because, I mean, as anyone knows, if you're going to cut down, lose weight, paleo is a pretty cool way to go, pretty good way to go, real healthy way to do things. But for somebody who's working out at the capacity that a lot of the elite CrossFitters have to, you need more calories. You know, you need those quick, easy calories from bread, cereal, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
For me, that's what's comfortable for my body, for my stomach. So I throw that in there every now and then as well with meals, snacks, that kind of thing.
And that's what we see overall. If you don't have a grain intolerance, you know, there's not irritation that comes out of those. You can eat those, perform well, and feel well. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
And I'm sure you're not going out doing Fruity Pebbles, you know, as a cereal. It's a it's a high quality cereal and things of that nature.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What would be a typical breakfast, say, on a normal training day? You know, maybe 2 workouts in that day. What would be a typical breakfast that you would do for that day?
Typical breakfast is going to be about 4 eggs, 1 yolk, just the rest 4 eggs, about 3 or 4 pieces of bacon, and 2 pieces of toast, and probably between 16 and 28 ounces of water, something like that. Vitamins and omega-3s in the morning.
Yeah, so we're looking at, you know, if we took the 2 biggest diets that we talk about in CrossFit being, you know, paleo and zone there, you know, other than the bread, he's got paleo foods and doing the combinations of protein and fats with each meal, so it's a great breakfast and combining the omega-3s in there.
This year I've added a couple more like recovery food. Like my fiance is really focused on nutrition, so she's got a lot more research on like just superfoods. So I'm eating a lot more like acai berries, taking a lot more sea greens in, like spirulina, eating a lot more sweet potatoes, yams, and I know like paleo's not like, that kind of stays away from like those high starch kind of like potatoes and stuff, but I love sweet potatoes post workout. Breakfast, I try to eat a lot of eggs, but again, a lot of my stuff I'm trying to be more conscious of, trying to get like fresh produce, like organic milk, trying to stay away from anything that's, you know, you just see a lot of, especially if you want to try to eat good food, healthy, you know, I want to get local raised chicken, that kind of stuff. So, and
that's good. What we're talking about there is, you know, even if we look at the terms of paleo, not having dairy, not having grains, or as Graham's mentioned, the potatoes on there, when he chooses to do those, they're still the organic, they're still the high quality, you know, products, the organic milk, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still marrying kind of the 2 concepts that are in the CrossFit world as far as paleo and zone.
Yeah.
What are you currently using as a recovery shake or recovery meal directly after the workouts?
I use a couple different things. So I'll use just a protein shake. Usually that's either from Optimum Nutrition or Progenics. Both of those, you know, most of the protein to me is just protein, and those 2 don't hurt my stomach. Like other ones I've tried, makes me upset, makes me feel a little queasy, so I just kind of stay away from some of those. I pick what I like, what my body handles well, and so I use those, and then either like an Endurox R4, like the carbohydrate and protein mix, or Vitargo by Generate. They have their claim to fame with it. It's just strictly carbohydrate, but it empties the stomach real fast.
Right.
Like the way that they process their, you know, the stuff, it's supposed to empty the stomach real fast, get in your system real quick, help you recover. But I don't just stick to the shakes and that kind of stuff. You need food. Like I'm gonna take in the shake now, in about 20 minutes I need food. Like if I don't have a sweet potato, some chicken, some nuts, some fruit, something like that, I'll be so fatigued I won't even be able to move. So there's something about the food. I'm not a nutritionist, but you know.
And what I like about what he's talking about, guys, it's input and output. So he's done this stuff, he's tried it, you know, different proteins. He's using the Endurox, which is a 4-to-1 ratio, carbohydrate to protein, fast digesting to, you know, get the sugars in post WOD, and he's doing that directly post WOD, and then following it up with the, you know, meals. Once his body temperatures came down, resting heart rates come down a little bit, he can actually digest that and be prepared for the next meal.
Right.
So great, you know, probably the take-home message I love out of that is something that we always teach is input, output. You know, his input is what he's doing post-WOD, and then he sees how he feels, he sees how he recovers, you know, for the next workout. Let's continue on with the recovery that we're talking about. I know we're not competing this weekend, but on maybe a multiple WOD training day or competition day, what is a specific recovery drink or meal that you'll do directly after the workout?
Yeah, I think kind of just like how I've always just been raised. If you're working out and you're training on a consistent basis, you're going to need to make sure you're hydrating plenty. So I mean that's kind of the obnoxious carrying around a big gallon of water is always fun. People are looking at you like, what the heck's this guy got this gallon of water? But it's like, especially right now in Ohio, it's like it's in the 90s. Today's really actually cool, but hydrating plenty, and then I've always just been a post-workout protein shake, and I've always since last year before the games I started taking Progenics, still taking Progenics, and then I'll try to pick up some stuff like I've heard like creatine's good to mix in there, but I end up like kind of digging through some of my old stuff, found some like leftover like creatine that I have from college, like I'll take this for a little bit until it's gone, like glutamine. But I get these emails, and I even have like people my dad works with are like, ask Graham what exactly he takes post-workout, and I'm like, honestly, 90%, 95% of your protein you should be getting is from your food, not from like necessarily a supplement. That's got to be kind of for me like a little bit more secondary. Like I said, I'm getting probably most of my protein from my fiance loves quinoa, like just a natural grain. Yeah. So
so we're working with great point he makes about most of the protein he's getting in is whole foods, whole quality foods, just using the recovery Progenics, that the protein powder post WOD, just a fast digesting there. We've been asking that in generally before the lectures, just kind of give me a feel of what they're doing, and one of the best ones that came out yesterday was I don't really follow paleo or zone, but then they started talking to me and telling me the foods that they're choosing, whole grain foods, organic foods, things of that nature. So they had these high quality of foods which we associate with paleo. And then she gave me some examples of meals that she was choosing, and she was doing a combination of the low glycemic carbs with a protein and fat, which is the concepts we take from the zone. So I think in a broad general term, we've put our blinders on when we talk about paleo, when we talk about zone, and we really don't understand the concepts that go along with them. We take a step back at it, quick broad of the zone. The zone is to control blood sugars and control insulin levels. And the paleo is the same goal is to control the blood sugars and insulin level, but using foods that we were meant to consume genetically that aren't going to probably cause a high intolerance. But as we've talked to our athletes today, a lot of them are doing a small amount of grains or a small amount of dairy because they don't have any intolerances to those foods.